listeners, to the Nice to Meet You podcast. This is your host, your girl, Lynette. And y'all already know this is season 3. It's continuing. And so far, I've only had Yamin on this season. I've been busy with school, graduating in a few weeks. So I haven't had time to really prepare for like a guest. But it ends today because I got Roy, my boy Roy from the halls of Gateway Tech. As you all know, I talked about Yamin. He came from me and Yamin came from Gateway. I'm the class of '01, but Roy and Yamin was the class of '02, but Roy is the class of '03. So we got '01, '02, '03 in the house. All right. I gotta get some '01s on here. What's up with that? Like I'm '01, but all the people I've been getting on here is not. Oh, Kamisha was on here from '01. Kamisha was on here from the '01 class.
Oh no, you might stand alone.
Say it again.
You might stand alone. The greatness is in '03. So.
All right, whatever. We always that's the question in St. Louis. If you live in St. Louis, people always say, "What high school did you go?" I don't know why we do that, but I think it's because like you can place a person after you know like what high school. I don't know, Roy. Why do you think they say?
It's definitely a culture thing here in St. Louis. I don't know where it came from, but I think it's we had this I guess perception of who you are or what you represent based on what high school you go to. If you went to Metro, you'd consider like gifted.
Yeah.
Gateway, we was in between, and then like, no offense, Vashon, Beaumont, and Soldan, you like, oh, okay, you live on the other side of the tracks.
Yeah.
Or you're in the county, oh, you a county person.
Yeah.
And then U City's there in between. So, U City just thought they was the best.
But they like that awkward, like you said, in between.
Exactly. So I don't know. It's a St. Louis thing.
It's just a St. Louis thing. You hear us say here and there, like Nelly. Sometimes for professionalism, I'll tell back there here and there. Sometimes like you might not hear it as much, but that's like what you hear when you hear us talking. And then, but more about Roy. He's a graduate of Tennessee State University, where he studied psychology. He is a licensed loan officer. He is a member of the Man Up STL. And Man Up STL, I kind of looked this up. It's a mentoring organization that is dedicated to improving the lives of families and urban communities by encouraging and empowering men to be agents of change and growth in their various communities. So, man, big up to you for joining that. He Absolutely. Yes, sir. He is a father. He has a twin brother named Ryan. They look just alike. It's sometimes like I'm like, I think I kind of know the difference now, but I won't say with 100% that I'm sure. He's a frat. He's a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, and he has some exciting news that he wants to share with us on today. But we'll get to that later. So join in with me in welcoming Roy Fraction to the Nice to Meet You podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with us.
Hey, no problem. It's my pleasure. I'm very excited to be on the show, and I'm honored. Thank you for inviting me. And like I was telling you before, like congratulations on doing this show. I mean, I can see it really blowing up, and I'm extremely proud of you. So thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. And you know what? Let's say this real quick. I allowed Roy to come on my show, even though he talks trash about my Kevin Durant.
Oh, yeah.
He talks trash about Kevin Durant all the time. What's up with that?
You know how it was. I was actually a fan of Kevin Durant. When he first came to the league, I saw him play at Texas and then get drafted about, the Seattle Supersonics, then OKC. But it's when he went to the Warriors, that's when everything changed.
Why?
It's like, man, I understand he had to do what he had to do, but I mean, we can talk about that all day. I thought it was a weak move, but at the end of the day, in life, you gotta go after what's your dreams, your goals. You have to go after what's yours, no matter what people think. So he did it regardless of what I thought about it. Yeah. He got a ring regardlars of what I thought about it. So I guess
two rings, get it right. 2 rings.
You had to correct me. 2 rings.
No, that's all love. But can you tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself? Like, okay, so this big leap that you did, psychology to real estate, like what's that big? That's like one end of the spectrum to the other. Like, what was that all about?
Well, I get that question a lot. I love that question actually. But so my mentality, you know, I don't know if you heard, I'm sure you heard of it. Like most of the people that when they go to college, they don't end up doing what they majored in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, I was a younger version of myself in college. You know, nowhere near where I am today. You know, I was still in a growth phase, but that's what I thought I wanted to do back then. You know, it was interesting to me. You know, my mom had always pushed engineering, but psychology just pulled me for some reason. I was always that kid that asked, why? I wanted to
Yeah.
understand like why people did the things they do. So that fascinated me. And when I started studying it, you know, it just opened up a whole nother world, like of, you know, learning about human behavior. You learn about different, you know, psychologists, famous psychologists that made innovations in the field. But for me personally, just just understanding it from, so I had two perspectives. You know, I took it at Flow Valley,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of like the modern version of it, you know, and then I went at TSU, it was a black version of it. So I got like two different perspectives of it. And I did have two courses in black psychology, and it just opened up a whole nother world to like learning about, you know, real African history, you know, why, you know, even from when we came over here on the slave ship all the way to where we are now, like a lot of the behaviors that we do, that we live by, you know, is a result of basically trauma and things that happened to
Yeah.
us, you know, in those times. You know, it's a lot of different stories, but yeah, like it just fascinated me because it also enlightened me to understand who I was and where I could go. You
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, I could talk about that all day,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but yeah, I mean,
But when did you make the switch? Like when did that switch happen?
good. I'm glad you asked me that because I was going off on a tangent. But um, where I made the switch was I started looking at um, how much money psychologists make and how much time in school you need to take to put in, and what you have to achieve to actually make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that you had to get a PhD and you had to start your own practice. And I at that point in time, I had just graduated. I'm like, I'm not trying to go to school another 8 years. I'm
I
exhausted.
feel
I'm
you.
tired. I'm ready to make some money, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So it quickly shifted to, well, how can I use psychology to put myself in a position where I can be wealthy or be rich? You know, I started asking those questions like, how come, and this kind of sparked up from the psychological studies that I had. Like, why aren't we rich? Why is there
Yeah.
socioeconomic status? Why I started looking at everybody in my family like nobody, nobody's wealthy. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this has to start somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. The facts.
Yeah. So long story short, you know, I found that I could use psychology in sales, you know, and you know, a lot of people have a negative, you know, perception of sales, but you can actually use it for good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can manipulate people
I
to
was just
help.
about to say that word.
Yeah,
You sound a little
yeah,
manipulative there, Roy.
exactly. You know, you got good people, you got bad people. You choose. I choose to
Yeah.
be good. So it's helped me a lot in sales. You know, I've been in sales 10 years and I made six figures.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's been up and down, but I mean, 2013, I was making six figures at Yellow Pages. And it wasn't until I really started taking a deeper look at the psychological approach of sales. Like, if you understand what you're doing psychologically, you know, you can sell anything,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so I took a deep dive into that, and now I'm just applying it to everything I do. So now that's transitioning into business.
Okay.
You know, I think every successful business owner had to, at one point in their life, learn how to sell and close business.
Mm-hmm.
But the champions understand it psychologically.
Yeah.
You know,
Speak on that. Speak on that. What you mean by that?
so it's deep. You know, you have to understand. And I'm actually reading this book right now. I can use this. It's called the Drive Sales System.
Okay.
And the D stands for director, R stands for relator, I stands for intellectual, V stands for validator, and E stands for executive.
Okay.
I won't go too in deep on what those mean, but what they represent is everybody has a different personality trait. Yeah. So I'm a validator, so I'll kind of go into what that is. Like, I'm driven by, you know, doing things in my life that's purpose driven, things that make me feel like I'm validated, like my life is worth something. So those kinds of things or activities drive me. So Man Up STL, giving back in the community, or, some people will say this might be shallow, but dress in a certain way.
Yeah.
It makes me feel, having on a watch, it makes me feel a certain way. Or, having people, when I post something like what you saw the other day, having all those people like say, hey, congratulations, you're doing a great job, like keep going. Those
Yeah.
kinds of things. So those are just some characteristics of like what drives validators. So each person has these things built in. So if you start understanding what drives people, then that's a psychological approach to it.
Yeah.
Well, if I understand it and I know how to sell you on my product, I'm just going to tap into, hey, Roy, man, this is going to help you, create the quality of life you're looking for. You might want to look into what my product, it could help you out. It's going to make you feel a certain type of way. Then I'm like, I'll check it out. And if it works, if it checks out, I'm buying. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So I think you're like applying people's emotions. Like you're trying to figure out that person. You're not just trying to sell a product. The product that you're selling, you're trying to like, how can it help you? Like, how can the product that I'm selling help you? And actually, I took that quiz for something. I don't know, for school. It's I was a director, so I'm like the boss around. Not like a boss, but like I'm just good at like leading people and directing people and like setting up teams and like promoting people's strengths. So it's crazy that you said that you're validating this. Yeah, so I'm like director. I would never thought that. Because I do see myself as a leader, but director just sounds like a big word, like a strong, a strong word to apply to something. But
absolutely.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna read the characteristics if I can find it. Don't worry about it. I can find it later. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So, have you in your studying like Black psychology? So, to me, listening to your response, you separated psychology from Black psychology. What's the just a short, not a long, but like, what's the difference? Or why do you feel like we need to separate it? Like, why? I guess for me, a lot of things that we do. And I know we had to do it because we weren't let into certain doors. We had to create Black things and like BET or different Black, like the Black things because we weren't accepted. But why do you feel like we need to separate Black psychology from psychology?
That's a good question. I think Black psychology is tied more into, our history, understanding the trauma we went through, but also understanding some of the greatnesses that we had, like, back in the 1920s of Black Wall Street, the Greenwood District, where we had, flourishing Black businesses and business owners. And back in the 20s and Jim Crow days, like understanding the mindset of those people, understanding, that if we did something like that then, what's stopping us now?
Okay.
It's a mental block that's been, I'm sure you heard of like Willie Lynch, the Willie Lynch. So like a lot of that stuff is still prevalent today. Like, he put the light skin against the dark skin, they call it house and field, then short against tall, and then east against west, north against south. So when we talk about our cities, there, we got, situations where some people rep a side of town.
Yeah.
They throw up north side, east side, west side, and all of that stuff came from Willie Lynch. People don't know that.
Yeah. No, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah. And that's just an example. Like it's other things too. But yeah, like we just do things, we just go along with things that have been passed down from generation to generation, but without understanding the root of it, you don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't possibly know where you're going.
You deep.
So you're lost. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because I'm deep. And
yeah.
And just taking it back to you. So, thinking about, so do you have any regrets not knowing sooner? Like what not getting into this thought process, this mentality, going into real estate, the decisions that you made, do you have any regrets? Like thinking about, man, if I would have done this so and so years ago, do you have any, like looking back?
I won't say I have any regrets. It's more of a wishing that, as I get deep into real estate and I learn, really what the business is all about and the nature of the business, the mentality of the system, that was built in America own real estate because it's the backbone of the American economy.
Mm-hmm.
I always say this, and because I see it constantly. I said, man, I see why they didn't teach this in school.
Okay, why you say that?
Because real estate it's if you learn how to work the business the right way, if you really learn the game, the numbers, how to evaluate a property, how to recognize equity, how to flip a property, saying how to keep it as a cash flow investment, how to acquire them, how to even understand the mentality of what the wealthy people do with real estate. So I had put a post up yesterday. I was sharing somebody else's content, but the guy was like, actually buying a single family home is a bad investment. If you can't pay cash for the house. If you got to go to the bank and get a loan, it's actually not a good investment.
Really?
Because you basically, a mortgage is just buying debt.
Yeah.
It's just you're borrowing money to get something that's emotional for you, the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
But if that house or that property is not making money for you, then it's really a bad investment. And
never heard that. Wow.
Yeah, that's what hasn't been taught. Mm-hmm. But if you take a property and because there's a lot of people that got started in real estate where they would say, well, I would just say the guy was saying buy a multifamily. You live in one unit, you and your family, you rent the other ones out, and that pays for the mortgage. And you might have a little more money left over for cash flow on top of your job or your career. So that will put you in a better position long term than taking on a house yourself and paying a mortgage yourself, struggling. Well, mortgage is just one. You got all these other, all your utilities, food, all the other bills that come with living, cars, insurances, all of those things, and then maintenance of the house. Mm-hmm. So you end up going in debt instead of being on top. And that's what wealthy people know. That's why I go to a lot of meetings, Lynette, and sometimes I'm the only Black in the room.
Wow. How'd it make you feel?
It makes me feel, I don't feel good about it. Yeah. But I also see opportunity like, man, we just don't know. I don't get angry. I'm like, we just don't know. We haven't been taught. It was set up like that, but it's my job, my purpose to make a change in that space. And that's really the purpose behind really why I wanted to get in real estate. It's not just about money. It's about training with the best, learning the game from the best so that I can take those skills and bring it back to my people and empower us. Because it's really the separation between poverty and wealth is knowledge, applied knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been learning. So I could talk about that all day.
No, I love it. I'm enjoying it. And I got to look up, I'm a little probably a year or so older than you. And I look up, I see how you dress, like you said, and the nice clothes and the man up, and that's just y'all in your suits and y'all in your nice shoes. Absolutely. And I just love it because the Black man just gets a negative stereotype. And so when I see stuff like how you doing, how you carry yourself in a white space, don't take this the wrong way, listeners, but like a white space, and I congratulate you, I salute you. That's why I wanted you to come on to just tell your story. So before we get far off, and let's say that, tell us the exciting news that you got. I'm gonna let you share the news yourself. So how did the news come about? What is the background story on it?
Absolutely. So I got started in when I got started in real estate. I've been in it a good 2 years, so it might seem longer, but it's just only been a good 2 years, maybe going on 2.5 years. It found me through, I used to be a loan officer. I did mortgages. I wasn't even looking for that. I didn't know what a mortgage was. One summer, I just put out my resumes to a bunch of different jobs. And this mortgage company called me back, said, hey, we're looking to hire new talent and train salespeople to be, top loan officers. And we like your resume. We want to interview you. So I made it through 3 interviews, got hired. Then they started helping me study for my test so I can get my license, of course. So I got past that training, got through my studying, and I took a shot at the test. I failed it twice. Okay. And they actually let me go. They laid me off. Wow. They said, Roy, come back when you pass the test. If you really want this, get your license, come back and we'll have a job for you. So what I found was, because it was funny, I I was doing well on my practice test, but I would go take the test and I would get 90 on the practice test. I went and took the test and got a 58. Second time a 63. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, something's not adding up. So I went on YouTube and I researched like how to take the test the best way. Mm-hmm. I found this lady that she had a class that was geared to helping people pass that. You know, rest in peace. Her name was Artricia Woods. She just passed not too long ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
But I took her course. I went back. I got an 85.
Okay.
So then I went back to that company. I was like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they was like, well, we've been bought out and a lot of things have changed. So we'll get back to you. Mm-hmm. Like, what?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
But it was a ram in the bush. You know, I had posted about my experience and one of my old sales managers from Yellow Pages called me. Mm-hmm. He was a sales manager at another mortgage company. Mm-hmm. So he called me. He's like, you want a job, man? We got you. So they brought me on. They actually were looking to do the same thing, train new talent. So I came in with my license and they thought that was amazing because they were starting people from scratch. So it was like, you already got your license. You got it on your own. Man, you're not ordinary.
I love it. I was like,
I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate it. So anyway, long story short, I ended up being one of the top loan officers there. Started really learning the nature of the mortgage business. And then I had a friend that actually worked at the other company that I was at. She became a realtor and she started doing real estate investing. Mm-hmm. And she started doing this little this acquisition strategy called wholesaling. Okay. So have you ever heard real estate when they say, hey, you can actually buy a house with no money down and you know, mark it up and flip it, you know, and get a fee in the middle? Well, that's what wholesaling is. So yeah, you don't need any money to get started in real estate. Really? That's a misconception. If you learn this skill called wholesaling, you basically find somebody with a property that is what we call distressed. So fire damaged, it could be a divorce where they separating, it could be a pre-foreclosure, maybe they have outstanding tax delinquent fees that can't be paid. So if you don't pay your property taxes, then the city or the county can come take your property. They can foreclose on it. Because that's their main source of income is that property tax.
Makes sense.
That's how they build the parks, the schools. They pay the teachers, the police, the firemen, all that stuff.
Me? No.
Exactly. So it's a lot of, you know, absentee owners. So these are people who moved out of state, but they still hold on to their property, but it's kind of hard to manage it from another state. Mm-hmm. So they might want to sell. So different situations like that, we find these people, they don't necessarily have the money to sell it on the market where you have to get a realtor.
I don't mean to interrupt. Is this the business that you work for now? When you say we, what are you referring to? Like, is this the business that you work for now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because you didn't let us know. You didn't tell us how you got to.
I was explaining I was gonna get back to it. Yeah. I was explaining the concept, but I'll get back to the story. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I was just explaining that this is how I got into what I do now. Those experience, you know, my friend taught me that game, and she, to wrap up that story, she ended up selling one of my grandma's properties.
Okay.
Off the market with no realtor involved. She connected the property to an investor that was willing to pay a certain amount of money for it. She agreed. She got us to agree to a price, and then she marked it up and sold it to this other guy, and she made $5,000 in the middle.
Okay.
No license, you know, no money in out of her pocket. So when I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, you got to show me this game.
Okay.
And that's the day I had quit mortgages in my mind. I'm like, oh no, this is what I want to do. She just made $5,000 in less than 30 days.
With no experience, no license, anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So what I found, this happens every day, all day. You know? So long story short, I walked away from mortgages 4 months I on my own. I partnered up with another lady that was more experienced at wholesaling. And together we closed 4 deals. I pocketed $8,000
Okay.
out of 4 deals. We made 15, we made 16. But since I was splitting it with her because she was helping me, you know, we split it down the middle 50-50. But that was crazy because I'm like, I made money in this real estate game and I don't hardly really know what I'm doing.
But how
Like,
many days across did it take you to make 16,000? How can you like give us a number?
it was about a good 90 days.
That's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
That's
90 to 100.
How many days on average does it take the normal person working 9 to 5? Like, I can't even calculate off the top of my head to make 8,000.
Way more than 90 days.
Yeah. No, that's I see. Like, it's evidently like you found your passion without even. Were you even looking for it? Or did it kind of just fall in your lap?
All of this came. I wasn't looking for this at all.
Yeah.
That's how I know it was something divine to it.
Yeah.
You know, so after that, I was like, okay, I want to build my own company around this. You know, so I did that for a while. I got a few more with the lady, and then I always wanted to relocate. You know, and so I always have been on the lookout for relocation spots. You know, I looked at Nevada, Vegas. You know, LA. It's too expensive. I want to go.
It looked nice, but it's money coming out your pocket.
Yeah, you need some real money out there. I looked at Phoenix. I also looked at Denver and Houston, and Dallas. You know, everybody from St. Louis look at Dallas. So
yeah, Houston too. Houston is up there too.
Yeah, you know, but I had a friend that lived in Houston. He was always been trying to sell it to me, so I decided to give it a try. I ended up working with a company that does they're a real estate investing company, and they hire people to wholesale, like what I just did. But you basically joining them, you tap into their marketing budget. You don't have to pay for things on your own, because like when you're on your own, you have to pay for all that out of pocket.
Okay.
So I got with them, tapped into their marketing, their resources, their training, their contracts, all of that, their culture. And I would say 45 days, I closed another 5 deals in Houston.
How much was that, if you don't mind me asking?
$20K profit.
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all listening to this, y'all might want to go into business with Roy.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, this is one of those things when you see, like, I see why they didn't teach this in school.
Yeah.
Wealthy people know about this. Yeah. The counterparts know about this stuff. This has always been crazy to me. Like, they would tell us, you want to get in real estate, go get your license, be a realtor. That's what's marketed to us.
Yeah, exactly.
This part is not marketed to us.
No, I don't even know anything about it.
When you think about real estate, what do you think about?
A realtor comes like, exactly. Go sell the house, and then they get commission off of. It's like, I don't even know anything about it, but I feel like just what you said, I feel like it's because the wealthy gotta stay up here. So if they disclose, if they give you all the secrets, then they want everybody will be up there, and that's not, they want it. Like, they keep you down here so they can keep making money.
You know what, Lynette? The sad part about that is you're absolutely right. That's America.
Yeah.
That's America. That's capitalism. Like, I tell people all the time, like, America makes so much money off dependency. So yeah, they have to leave certain things out to keep the system going the way it's going.
Exactly, it's a system.
It's a system, even down to, that's why Sally Mae, or whoever they call now, are willing to give us
Great Lakes is what
Great Lakes. Okay, that's great. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. That's why they're willing to lend that money. Yeah. Because sadly, when you go to college, I'm a dab into this a little bit. This is what opened my eyes about college. And, this is tapping back into what I learned at going to an HBCU. So before Tennessee State was called Tennessee State, well, first of all, Blacks weren't allowed to go to the state schools. But yeah. For a certain amount of time. Depending on where you are, I would say that's probably a Southern thing. Not up north. We was able to go to Ivy League because our fraternity was founded at Ivy League School in Cornell.
Okay.
Back in 1906. But Tennessee State used to be called Tennessee A&I College.
Okay.
Before, do you know what A&I stands for?
No, I don't.
Agriculture and Industrial.
Okay. You
What does that mean?
Bunch of not like, is this
What?
like farming?
Huh?
Farming or things like that?
Yes, there you go. Mm-hmm. Farming and industrial, what do you think about?
Just like, I don't know, industrial is like warehousing, like
warehousing,
yeah.
A steel mill.
Yeah.
A steel. So you got farming and steel mill.
Okay. That's
Michael Jackson's dad worked in the steel mill in Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
So those are jobs that Blacks could get, but also that's what, even deeper, that's what they wanted us to have.
Yeah.
You couldn't, you can't get in real estate, you can't get in financial services, you can't get in securities, insurance, none of that. You have to work in a steel mill or work on a farm. That sounds like slavery to me.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So that rubbed me the wrong way. And of course, our schools have come a long way from that. It just makes you think about how was this system really built, and who was it meant to benefit, and who was it meant not to benefit?
Yeah.
That's just scary you.
No, I mean, you're just saying the stuff that I think a lot of us are thinking. You're just saying the stuff that we're thinking. So before you get back to your story, I got a quick because listening to you talking, this question came up to me. So what have you found out? Like, what are the nuggets? What are the secrets? Just the small, like what are the secrets what have you noticed that they do to Black people? So as far as like real estate, or as far as like us, is it still like redlining going on? Is it still like is it still like people discriminating against us, like when we go for loans, or like you've been inside the system? Like what are little things you can drop to us? Not like just little things that you can drop to us that you've noticed.
Ooh, man, it can get deep. On the lending side, it's deeper than just about a credit score, because the lender I work for, we lend it down to a 500 score. So basically giving everybody a chance to get a loan, even though we know there were times where we couldn't get anything like that, but another thing that qualifies you to get approved for a loan was something called a debt to income ratio.
Okay.
So is your debt bigger than your income, or is your income bigger than your debt?
Okay.
Well, I don't know. In a lot of cases I've seen, the debt was bigger than the income when it comes to our people.
I can see that.
I hate to say it, but
go ahead and say it. Call the thing a thing. Be honest. We're all about honesty.
There were so many people that I wanted to help that I couldn't because of these guidelines. I put their information in the computer, in the system, and it spits back out and you can't get approved. And they really needed it. So that's one. Another thing too that I saw right off the bat when I first got in real estate investing. So this is how redlining and all that's illegal. Barack Obama fixed that with, the regulations he put in after the market crash. He created the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So they govern, the housing market and make sure nobody's get discriminated against. I had to learn all that to get my mortgage license. Okay. But there's always a loophole.
Okay. Well, tell us about that loophole.
America is notorious for that.
Okay.
I hope the feds ain't listening.
You can just tell the snippet, just a snippet then. You don't got to tell me the nitty.
Yeah. But so like, let's take St. Louis, for example. When you cross, so I live in Central West End. Okay. So I'm right at that border. Delmar is like
line, the
Delmar line, exactly.
Yeah, Delmar Divide. Okay.
So on this side of Delmar, property values are, over here where I live at, a house is sold down 3 doors down for even though people paying more for houses right now, but they pay over $550,000.
Okay.
For their house. Ours is worth about $350, $400, something like that. But you cross Delmar, a couple of blocks over, and it's like less than a mile away, walking distance. I met with a family that wanted they wanted to do business with me, but the deal didn't work because the value of the house was lower than how much work it needed. So that's an
It's
upside
sad.
down.
It's sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and not kind of, it did, because I said, so you mean to tell me this? Because if the deal did work, I could have got this family at least 50 grand, you know, and I could have took that house and gave it to somebody that was either gonna fix it up and rent it out or flip it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where everybody could have walked away here. I would have got my money, they would have got theirs, and then the investor would have got the property and made a profit out of whatever they did to it.
Mm-hmm.
But because the property value is low,
yeah,
it leaves that family with a burden that they can't do anything with.
They just stuck.
They stuck.
Yeah.
So I said, that's not necessarily red line. I don't know what to call it. It's discrimination.
Yeah.
But how many other blacks are in that situation that live across Delmar?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You come over here on my street, oh, we can move. Not just us, but like the counterparts, you know, people that are blessed to be wealthy.
Yeah.
However you want to look at it. They because of their property value, they were able to take that house,
mm-hmm.
liquidate it, and then move to a better situation.
Mm-hmm.
All because where it's located.
Exactly.
Crazy.
It is crazy. So how do we fix that? How do we fix? What is your thought? Like, what are you thinking? I mean, you might not have, and it may take time to figure that out. But
it's gonna take time. Yeah.
What are you thinking initially? How do we fix that?
You know, I'm not gonna say anything is impossible, but because we've done it before. But we have to, first of all, become conscious of it before we fix anything. But number two, we got to go back to how things were done with Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not saying that we wouldn't do business with anybody else, but we need to pay ourselves first. We need our economy to circulate within our own people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're the only ones that can take pride in our neighborhoods. If we take care of them, you know, if we circulate the money with each other, you know, we can get wealthy,
mm-hmm.
and then we can change our own neighborhoods. That's the only solution I see. And shout out to everybody that's I know doing work in North City. I plan on one day have enough money to do my own projects over there and make some change, but I got to get there first.
Yeah.
But
you're going to get there. I see it in you. Like, you're going to get there. You got a whole bunch of ideas. I
appreciate that. I'm blessed to even have this mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, that's how it's gonna work. We're gonna have to change our own community and increase our own value. We gotta force it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So do you buy Black? Or are you like an advocate for like seeking out Black businesses and investing in?
I wouldn't say I buy with I need to get better with that. I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. I want to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get there, but we just have to do better as a people to, just take more pride in that movement. Mm-hmm. And I think we will get there. I think we're starting to get more woke than we ever been.
Yeah.
We're starting to see that like we need to create our own destiny. We can't wait on the government.
Facts. No, you speaking facts.
Yeah.
So like the company that you work for now, when you came back to St. Louis, like I know you made a long post about it, that like let me not try to quote it, but I know like you left the money to come back to like Potential. Is that like essentially what you did?
Yeah. You got it right on the money. And I love talking about this. This story is deep, but basically when I moved to Houston, I mean, of course, it's so beautiful down there. I was making money with this company. As I said, I made $20K in my first 45 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's bananas.
But I had right after I made that money, I feel like this was God testing me. So the guy I'm working with now, Mike Pulley, he's a millionaire as far as his net worth.
Wow.
Right here in St. Louis. He has probably close to 100 rentals, in South City. Don't quote me on that. I don't know exactly how many. It's up there though.
No, what's crazy? Not to stop you. I don't even know where the millionaires are in St. Louis. No, you just opened my mind. Like I don't even know where they are. I mean,
Oh,
I
they got
know,
here.
like I drive, down the street, like right when you cross Kings Highway down, like that neighborhood that you can't go in. I'm assuming it's someplace, something, but I'm like, I don't even know where they are.
Man, look, they everywhere. They just not flashy.
Yeah.
They could be. I met some where they personally would tell me, and this was actually a black millionaire. He's like, I'll go to Maggiano's with shorts on
Okay.
and flip flops. Just he said, I do this on purpose. It's like they don't know what I got going on. But anyway, yeah, Mike Cooley and his wife, they have a $1 million net worth. And I had met this guy 2 years ago at an event where they were actually educating people on real estate. We met, kind of kept in touch, built a rapport. I played basketball with him one time on a rainy night in the middle of the week.
Okay.
But even that night, something told me like, man, you need to go. I didn't feel like going. So you need to go. Like playing basketball, it's gonna build some huge rapport. So anyway, after I made the money in Houston, he private messaged me, and told me, hey, me and my wife are getting ready to scale up our company. We want you to be a part of our growth. We're ready to work with you, ready to do business with you. Where are you at?
Okay. He sought you out.
Right.
Like, man, so that's like admirable. Like, man, that's admirable. That's God. That's nothing but God.
It was. And I was like, I paused. I was like, wow.
God is amazing.
He is. And I knew right then I had a decision to make. And God was testing me. Either you can stay in Houston and make this money, but guess what? It's, or you can move back home. It's not the glamorous thing to do. It's not something you want to do. I just got out of here. I want to go back.
No, I feel you. I'm trying to get out myself one day.
Right.
Yeah.
But you either can stay here and make money and work for somebody else, or you got a chance of building you. Improving your skill set, building your own empire through his company and his resources as well. And to me, that was a more valuable.
Yeah.
It was more valuable to me to build on myself, because I think a lot of times we get caught up in the money, in the big check. But is it the big check that's more valuable, or is it our ability to create that big check?
Yes.
Exactly.
Facts. That's some knowledge. Yeah. That's bars for you.
Yeah, bars.
Yeah, no, that's bars. Yeah.
So that's why I said it wasn't a hard decision. I said I got ability to really learn how to fish instead of fishing for somebody else in a place that
You're gonna make me shout. And this ain't. Yeah. I done been to church already. Okay.
It's Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up back here. That's how I ended up back here, and it's just been nothing but divine growth ever since. Every day I see that it was the right decision. He's teaching me how to be him.
Yeah. You sound like one of the disciples. You sound like Paul or one of the fishermen, just how you speak. Okay. Yeah. You sound like definitely one of those.
I appreciate that. I'm just speaking on my experiences, and the connections I have now through him is, it will blow anybody's mind.
You're blowing mine?
It's still blowing my mind every day. Like, I have the ability right now to buy real estate in so many different ways. I don't know if I'll get too in depth in that, but without these connections, I'm limited. With these connections, I don't have any limits. To put it that way.
You dropping all, man. I think this conversation.
I'm going to help somebody.
No, this conversation. I hadn't even done any guests, and you came to my mind, and we just talk trash about basketball. Like, we never even had a conversation like this. And I was like, I think your post just I think I go back to it. I'm like, man, like this is a Black man. Like we walked through the same hallways
Absolutely.
together, and look like where you are. Like this is amazing. Like people need to hear your story. So this is divine right here. Like, yeah.
I appreciate that. And that's really my purpose. Like, I know what my purpose is, and that's what it is. Like, if it's through a story, if it's just me talking to somebody, having a conversation, it's me doing something big or small. Like, I feel like I'm here to help people realize their potential, to realize what they can do.
That's a leader. You're a leader.
Yeah.
Boss move. Like people say boss, but like, are you actually making a move to hold a title?
Exactly.
And so I feel like
I hate title.
No, I hate title. I feel like be about it. Don't like actually just do the move in silence, like you said. Like move. Like I didn't even know he moved, and so like move in silence. Like show people. You don't have to tell them. Just show them. And so before we close it out, this has been great. I don't even want to stop it because I got so many more questions in my head. Right? No, I'm saying like you have so much knowledge, but I did want to speak of like what does it mean to be a father before we close it out. Like just tell the people a little bit.
Okay. Man, being a father is everything. That sounds cliche, but for me, 6 years ago, I was young and, I did some things that I probably shouldn't have been doing, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But I would say my daughter helped me become a man for real.
Okay.
Like when she was born, like when I fell in love with her, when she was born, like I immediately changed, and I would say the man speaking to you today, she has a lot to do with that.
Okay.
She has a lot. She made me take my life way more seriously. She made me calculate my moves, my steps. I can't do the same things I used to do. I can't live carelessly or frivolously, but I enjoy it. It's so cool to see like a little you,
and she looks like you, she's all you.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't deny her. Yeah, but she gives me life, and I that's why I named her Joy. And I know I joke like because it rhymes with Roy, but yeah, I like that too. But the truth behind it is that she represented happiness in my life when she was born, and she was born about 10 days before my dad went into a coma and ended up dying about 4 months later. So like that, her light shining really helped me through hard times. So, I owe her everything for that. And like everything that I do, my career, everything that we was talking about today, all that is to provide for her a life of unlimited opportunities. I always say, if your kids start on the same level as you didn't do your job.
Yeah. No, that's facts. That's facts. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to get her on the 11th, so I'm excited about that. She lives in Michigan now with her mom. Her mom got married.
Okay.
So but we're doing so good co-parenting. I met her husband. We all got a good. Yeah. So that was important to me because I always envisioned it just to be everything to be smooth. Like I don't like drama, anything like that. Like let's just figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Fatherhood is definitely a blessing for me. So
you sound like a grown man. No, you sound. I hope so. No, I'm saying because we could be an age, we can, say we're 35, we're 36, like, but or you actually walking in the footsteps of some like the age, you could keep going up, but you could not. Your maturity level could not be moving with your age, and so what you're saying is very mature. Like it sounds like you have had some reflection of your life, and you came to a realization like this is who I want to be, and you're walking in that, and that's amazing. And before I let you go, you want to leave any advice for like any man that maybe listen, like a Black man, like how can you encourage them?
I would just say the main thing, man, find your purpose, and everything else will fall in place. Like seriously, it will open up your eyes to every aspect of your life. And if you find purpose in every aspect of your life, you're gonna be on the right track. But listen to the man upstairs. Walk, let him order your steps, and you'll be fine. Absolutely.
That's man, it's been awesome. How can people keep in contact with you, or how can they follow you, or anything like that? Drop your social medias or.
Absolutely. Facebook is just Roy Harrison Fraction. Instagram, I go by Real Estate Roy. So that's at Real Estate Roy, just one word. And then LinkedIn, you just type in Roy Harrison Fraction. I don't be on there much, but I'm working on building a TikTok. I'm actually working on some marketing coming soon. So I've heard that, a lot of you, not just real estate investors, you can go on TikTok and, do your thing and you can end up getting passive income from it.
Yeah,
So,
I heard TikTok is where it's at. That's why.
Yeah. So I'm looking to roll some stuff like that out soon to just brand myself. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen moving forward. I'm working on some huge partnerships with my old mortgage company that I used to work for. We're working on a big deal in real estate right now. So that's gonna be huge for my business. But I'm just excited, and I just encourage anybody, just follow your dreams, find purpose, and you should be happy. So I appreciate you, Lynette, for this opportunity to get on your show.
No, you're welcome. I feel like men need a show, something like that. Like that, the Man Up. I don't know. I just listening to you. I feel like you have so much knowledge that you please find some type of way to share. Like you said with TED Talk, or if you start a podcast, you and your brother. I don't know, but I feel like you have so much information that we can't even get it into an entire episode.
Right.
So don't even like keep it to yourself. Find some type of way to share.
Yeah, I plan on doing. That was one of the things I always been nervous about. Me and my brother used to have a show called The Two Percenters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, we stopped doing that only because we felt like we needed to grow more, and like we always believed we wanted to walk. We want to walk what we were saying. We want to not just talk the talk, but walk the walk.
Mm-hmm.
So we've taken time out to build ourselves. I don't know if we ever do that again, but as far as sharing stuff, I definitely want to in the future do something like that. So, maybe we could just do something. I don't know, since you already got it going.
No, I mean, anytime you want to come back, you got an open invitation. Anytime you want to come back, but because I know you listeners have a short attention span, we're gonna wrap it up. But hopefully Roy can come back and drop some more knowledge another day. I hope you truly follow him. You hear him, just the amount of time that we talk, all the knowledge that he has and the gems that he shared, and hopefully the feds aren't listening for any of the secrets that he gave us. He's a LeBron fan, and I like LeBron. He's okay, and he can come back, even though he hates on KD sometimes.
But we're getting that chip this year. I don't know about y'all. We getting that chip. No.
We gonna see. But no, this has been great.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And you all know I cannot leave you all without quoting my favorite scripture, found in Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. God's going to bring us to our expected end, you and me. So until next time, nice to meet you. Let's go.
Nice to meet you. See ya.
All right.